Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good evening. I don't know. Look, D. Watson Jr. here, Jazz Key Project Podcast. Well, I was in the office up here in my man cave working on a project for the Jazz Key Project. Actually, it's going to be another episode of the JKP Podcast. And I was going to answer the question, how did Mega lose the Pokemon licenses? I've been telling people that's the wrong question. They didn't just lose it. I want you to understand that Pokemon was perhaps their Mega's number one selling product. So they didn't just give it up. They didn't just lose it. They weren't just carefree with it. They just simply got out-muscled by Lego. And I've been telling people it's all about the money. You hear me? All about the money. That's all it is, okay? And what I was going to do was give you these, share these numbers with you and just tell you what happened is they probably got outbid. So let's talk about something. Facts. Number one, Lego only sells bricks. Yet they are the largest toy company in the world. There is no question about it. No one even comes close, okay? Numbers. I'm going to give you numbers. 2022, Lego had $9.2 billion. Billion with a B. Boy, bravo, Baker. $9.2 billion in sales. Okay? Number two, Hasbro, $5.86 billion. Number three, Mattel, $5.43 billion. What that means is the number two and number three largest toy companies in the world combined made $11.29 billion, but they only beat the number one toy company by $2.09 billion in 1 year. They just barely beat them. I know we're talking about billions and that's a lot of money, but still, they just barely beat them. 2003, Lego has a 2%, 2023, Lego has a 2% increase in sales. They go from 9.2 billion to 9.6 billion. Hasbro drops 14% in sales. They went from 5.86 to even $5 billion in sales. Again, that's a drop of 17%. Mattel on the other hand, the owner of Mega Construx, they were flat that year. They've been flat for the past couple of years. They only had $5.5 billion in sales. So combined, they had a $10.5 billion in sales in 2023. Lego, on the other hand, had $9.6 billion. Okay? So that means that the number two and the number three toy company only beat Lego in sales combined. They barely beat Lego by a measly $0.9 billion in sales. Okay, so basically $900 million. That's how much they beat them by. Okay, now in 2024, the trend kept going the way it was. Hasbro only had $4.1 billion in sales. Again, they lost money compared to the previous year. That's down 17%. Mattel, the owner of, again, they own Mega Construx, Mega Blocks, whatever you want to, however you remember them or know them as, they own them. They had $5.3 billion in sales. Together, they had $9.4 billion in sales. Okay, now to put this into perspective, Lego had $10.8 billion in sales. So in 2024, the number two and the number three largest toy companies in the world combined did not outsell Lego. Lego beat them by a whopping $1.4 billion in sales. Okay? Now, I don't have the numbers for 2025, but you see where this is going. All right. And I was telling people before this happened, they just outbid them. That's all it was. Okay. Simply, they just put more money on the table. I was getting this information together. All right. And I said, hey, and I'm working, and I say, you know what? I need to go on Lego's website and get some information, get some pictures of this new Pokemon set. Now, in case you didn't know, and you should know by now, Lego has released 3 new Pokemon sets for sale. The first one is an Eevee, is like $50. The next one is a Pikachu that costs $150, $160, like that. Don't quote me. I'm not looking at that right now. But what I will quote you is their biggest set is 3 Pokemons. I am not. Oh my goodness. Un momento. All right, guys. I left to go to the to the Lego website. Okay, so let's talk about this. They have an Eevee. It's 587 pieces, $60. Okay. They have a Pikachu with a Pokeball. It's 2,050 pieces. It's $200. $19.99. I'm sorry, $199.99. $200. $200 US. Okay. Now this is the one that's the biggie. They have a Pokemon trio: Venusaur, Charizard, Blastoise. Okay, those 3 are a whopping 6,838 pieces. The price tag $649.99. If you didn't know that, I will repeat it for you again. $650 for 3 Pokemons. Okay? Don't say anything. Let me finish before you pass judgment. Okay? So I was going to get pictures of this to use on my episode. And I'm looking, and it's like, that's interesting. This $650 set has sold out. Yep, you heard me. Pre-orders have sold out. Now, this is what you have to understand. I had all this, I did all my numbers, I had all the studies, I had typed up a script, I was ready to go. I had worked on this for 2 or 3 months, and in 24 hours, the best example of why Mattel lost the Pokemon set, the license, is right there. In 24 hours, Lego sold 50,000. Let me say that again. 50,000 Pokemon sets at $650 a piece. Okay? Don't strain your brain. I will tell you right now, $32.5 million in 24 hours. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why Construx, Mattel no longer has the Pokemon license. No one, that's it. It's all about the money. Now, you also have to consider as well that this year is Pokemon's 30th anniversary. You may or may not see a lot about it, but it's their 30th anniversary. And I'm sure the executives at Pokemon were thinking, hey, this is 30-year anniversary. We're going to blow this up. We're going to give the fans what they want. We're going to make some big-time money. You hear me? We're going to go for it. And then here it is, 2 years prior. And I'm telling you, if you consider that it takes about a year and a half for a set to go from design to release, a year and a half, maybe 2 years, Mega lost his contract 3 years ago. And that's why, we've been complaining. All of us Mega fans have been complaining. Why do we keep getting the same old Pokemon figures? Two reasons. Number one, everybody complained about getting Pikachu and all these other figures that we kept in what I call the big four: Pikachu, Charmander, Squirtle, and that other little turtle thing. Bulbasaur. Okay, the big four is what I call them. The big four Pokemon. But here's the thing: no matter how many of those they release in little Pokeballs, you never saw them left over, did you? Nope, because they were gone. They were sold. But I think they'd already lost the contract, and they were just clearing house. Says, hey, we'll give them something, but there's no need to put a whole lot of effort into this, into new molds that we would try to use again and again over the next 2 or 3 years. We've lost the contract, so that's why I think we kept getting the same sets over and over and over again. But here's the thing. I'm sorry. Let's go back to this. $32.5 million in 24 hours. That's why they lost that, okay? I think, and I know now for sure, Lego put an offer on the table that Mega Mattel could not match and Pokemon could not refuse. That's the end of the story. It's all about the money, as I said. But all that I was going to explain to you that I thought was going to take a 30-minute episode, piece of cake. It's all about the money. And 50,000. And here's the thing. This is what I want you to think about. That's just the pre-orders. They haven't even gone on sale yet. That is only the pre-orders off Lego.com. 24 hours, 50,000 sets at $650 is $32.5 million. I don't have to say anything else. If you don't know why, so y'all need to stop beating up on Mattel and Mega and huffing and puffing about they just gave up and lost. Yeah, they lost it. They probably put up a good fight, but they fought by as hard as that ant does when you step on it. $32.5 million in sales in 24 hours. All right, that's why they lost it. So I don't have to say anything else about that. I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but it's something to think about. And let me know what you think in the comments below. Talk to you guys later. More news to come, including my predictions of what we're going to see from Mattel Brick Shop in the next few weeks, and what other sets I think Lego is going to give us as far as Pokemon goes. Until next time, D. Watson Jr. for the Jansky Project Podcast. Make mine mega.